Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, I salute you and thank you. As my son, Lord Lamont, came up with the wonderful creativity he has within him, our fellow spell breakers. We thank you and appreciate you. And just keep staying upright and always calling on that great protection from that great divine. You know, you hear me say that all the time, for ourselves and from ourselves, so we can stay strong and keep prospering and make sure that we stay aware the best way we can of oneself, our family, children, significant other, if we have one. And I honor thy ancestors, man, brother and sister that was righteous, that knew themselves, man, that fought so very hard to get many of us in that great divine space that we are in. A big, big salute to our ancestors, far and near. As I like to say, the body may lay to rest, but the spirit lives on through us. That's what make us strong, you know. And it's wonderful to be in that space. And let's get into it, brothers and sisters. Communities, stop littering. You know, this is an all-out alert. You know, stop littering. And it's something I have been observing. I'm here in the Milltown. And the last podcast I did, I showed my banner. And I spoke on how I stay in a pretty quiet neighborhood, pretty clean too, you know, not garbage and litter everywhere. And that's something that concerns me. In you know, different parts of the city, you know, you have some that's, you know, nice areas and people take care of their lawns. Then you have the areas where people just flat out don't give a damn. You know, you see bottles and paper and garbage, and it's ridiculous. And then some, now, not all, but you have those that, you have people that, unfortunately, they don't give a damn, I don't know, about life themselves. Whatever goes on in the mental, which will be a song I'll play in the hip hop break. It's all about the mental. That'll be coming up. You know, I always have a hip hop break because I think positive music and affirmations is good for our chakras. So that's why I play meaningful music, you know, when I can. And but it's just something I've been observing different parts of the city. And I'm pretty sure all major cities pretty much have the same thing that I'm getting ready to talk about. And I do have a list of some countries, countries that the most, I would say public opinion, top 10 most cleanest countries. I'm going to read them because I thought it was interesting. And, and you have people that, complain about, quotation marks, the white man and all this stuff. But some of it is us. And I was going to put in the beginning of the title, I was going to put my people stop littering, but I didn't want to just single out us because it's not all of us. And it's enough negative things about melanated brothers and sisters already. So I don't want to add. I don't want to, that's negative. But it is some concern, and it is a reality. And because where I work isn't it's a mostly Caucasians, different parts of the city. Where I work is a more nicer area. And I see people jogging, walking their dogs, the kids out playing. There's no litter everywhere. That's where it begins. The littering and just throwing shit in the street and just don't give a damn, But we want, or whoever we think that's going to help us, whatever. We complain about this, that, and the third, and, some of us, the system and stuff like that. But it begins with us. Because when I go through some of these neighborhoods, I mean, now, not that we rely on the city, but the city will pretty much, how the old saying goes, if you don't give a damn, they won't give a damn, So you're throwing paper out and bottles and all that shit out on the street, and you just don't give a damn. And I'm telling you, how we are inside will develop on the outside. That's whether good or bad. And it shows through our behavior, our actions, how we treat our lawn, how we treat our house, how we treat ourselves. Everything matters, And again, I go through some of these neighborhoods and it's just trash everywhere. And it's ridiculous. It don't make no sense. And it's just something I have observed. I'm telling you. And I'm sure a lot of major cities can relate to this. They probably have the same problem and or challenge, whatever you want to call it. But I think that's where it begins, not littering our neighborhoods, keeping our neighborhoods clean. Because again, like my Aunt Vera, rest in peace. and empower. I said on that last podcast, she had an eye for picking the right neighborhoods and the right homes. And I always remember that as a kid. And it's amazing the story she told me too. How she, come upon owning property and stuff like that. She told me she started out saving $5. I remember, I never forgot that story. And as she said she started out saving $5, and she just kept, as she accumulated more savings, she added to it. Then it went up to 10. And I don't know if she did it every week or every other week, then 15, then 20. I remember she told me that story, and that's how she just took her time. She was patient, and she accumulated her money, and she eventually accumulated, some wealth, and she gave it back to her family. I always thought that was so beautiful, as well as my grandparents and other members of one's family, So again, I thank my aunt Vera for having that eye to pick good neighborhoods and clean, be fortunate if you in a clean neighborhood. And everyone I notice in my neighborhood, everybody's clean. Everybody takes care of their lawn. Nobody bothers each other, and we see each other out there. We say, hey, hi, how you doing, And, some people say something, some people don't. But we all kind of recognize each other, and we just cool, And I'm telling you, but it's not like that in every neighborhood. And, I'm not the only one to speak on. A lot of us speak on this. I'm just coming from kind of another, not different, but another perspective. And it bothers me, when I see trash and shit all in the neighborhood, because that's where it begins. As my son and I discussed, General Lord Lamont, salute. It begins at home. It begins in our thoughts, like our psyche. That's our home. How we think there in our core will determine our behavior, how we view the world, how we treat the world. We can't moan and complain if we don't give a damn. If we throwing bottles and garbage and shit in. Excuse me for cussing, but it just bothers me. And I remember my cousin and I, L'Oreal Lyrical, may she rest in peace and in power. When I first moved to Milltown, and we were doing music, and there was a couple of other people that was in the group, another sister and another brother. 4 verses, and dang, I can't remember the other girl's name that was in our group, but her last name was Jackson. It was something Jackson. Angela Jackson, that was her name. She sang the hook on the song we did called "Stop the Violence." And so we was in this program, and we were walking through the neighborhoods picking up trash. And do you know, people, black people, I gotta say it, black people, that's why I said communities, please stop littering. It's crazy. It's crazy how evil entities throughout decades have really effed up melanated people's minds. It's crazy. But it was my cousin and the other 2 that was in our group, and it was a few other people, and it was like a cleanup program, and we was just going through the neighborhoods, and like the worst neighborhoods, picking up trash. Do you know that my people riding by laughing, y'all some stupid asses, and bum bum bum. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy. Wait, I don't know. It's crazy how some of our minds, I'm talking about my melanated brothers and sisters, how our minds are. And people were laughing and mocking us. I was like, wow. You see somebody, not all of us now. We got some good stand up right brothers and sisters now. I always got to kind of, put emphasis on that. But I'm talking about the ones that's just, I don't know what goes on in their mind, And they were riding by and laughing at us and mocking us. All we was doing was out there picking up trash. I never forgot that. And that stayed with me, That's probably why I'm speaking on it now, because it's been in my subconscious. And every time I see a bunch of trash on the street, it just bothers me. It's ridiculous. And I have to say, I got to keep it real. It's the black neighborhoods. Those are the ones where we see shit everywhere and people don't give a damn. But we want people to care about us. Be the first ones to moan and complain, but we the ones throwing trash out on the street, don't give a damn, and robbing stores and all this different shit. And wonder why, the neighborhoods, some neighborhoods now, not all, stay the way they are. Because a lot of us that are toxic within, we keep it the way they are, So that's why I said, be thankful if you are in a good, clean area, And I would never make like Caucasians are better than melanated brothers. That's not what I'm saying. But in some areas, in some of these major cities, they don't trash their neighborhoods. They don't throw garbage out there, and and they connect with each other, and they keep their community tight. You know what I mean? So And it's a shame, like I said, it hurts me to see all the trash, and especially when you actually could have a melanated neighborhood that have nice houses in that neighborhood, but they still will come through and trash it. It just doesn't make any sense. Don't cut their grass. I will never understand that, so unless you can or something like that. But if you're able and you a healthy human being, brother or sister, have no excuse at some point. So again, communities, please stop littering the neighborhoods. That's where it starts. Clean up our neighborhoods. And what I say about my neighborhood I stay in, again, rest in peace and empire, my Aunt Vera, because she's the reason I'm living in this building I'm living in now. Real talk. We gotta be thankful, So but I noticed, like, when I cut my grass, I like that. It's like everybody be, and it's kind of fun. It's like you seeing who got the nicest lawn. You know what I mean? But not in a competitive way or nothing like that. It's kind of cool. Like, it's like everybody need to cut their grass, and it's like everybody racing to see who cut. I always try to cut my grass first before everybody else. It's just just a little fun little thing. And then I noticed when one person cut their grass, somebody else will come cut their grass, and another person will cut their. And then next thing you know, the whole neighborhood, everybody did their line. And it's kind of beautiful how everybody synchronized like that. Even though a lot of us go back and forth to work, we might not say nothing to each other, but if we see each other going back and forth to the car, we'll say hi, because I say hi to my neighbors when I see them, outside. Sometimes I say something, sometimes I don't. But if they say hi, I say hi. But because I do acknowledge people. Again, I love solitude, but I can reach out too. I'm not like that. I will speak and converse, because got to share that energy sometimes. So, and it is a vibration. When you see someone taking care of their yard, let me check, I need to step up my game. Let me take care of my yard. And it's wonderful like that. And it synchronizes through the whole neighborhood. I could stand out there and look down the street, like both ways, and everybody grass is cut. Beautiful. No trash and garbage. And this is in my area. And I would say 3 blocks over, maybe 2 to 3 blocks over, left and right, pretty clean, but a little, like, maybe 7 to 8, maybe 9 blocks down, left to right. Well, I would say left, because in here in the Milltown, let me give an example. Like, we got a street called Burleigh, and we got a street called Center. Now, in the lower 20s and 30s, that's, quotation marks, the hood. And that's usually where you see the trash, and the city hasn't fixed the streets and the potholes and all that shit. And again, I don't want to put too much on my people. It's some of us, but some of it ain't us. Real talk. So I don't want to put too much on us. I don't want to beat up on us. That's why I didn't put that in the title. Because again, I was going to put my people, but it's not, I can't put everything on us again, because everything already get put on us as it is. So I don't want to come off like that, because it has something to do with the city too. The city needs to kind of fix these streets too, because if they give a damn a little bit, then maybe some individuals in that hood, that, because some people are maybe living a so-called, that's why I say so-called hood, because of situations, money, finances, stuff like that. So I do understand that too, so. But I think the city needs to step in too, because again, like down in the 20s and the 30s is the so-called hood, and it's a lot of potholes in the streets. It's been like that for years since I moved up here. I've been up in the Milltown since 2014, and some of them streets in the hood, they still haven't fixed, and it's dangerous. You got to play that game called dodge the pothole. So it starts there too. So again, I ain't gonna beat up on my people too much, real talk. But again, we can't look at what they're doing. We got to do what we supposed to do as a community and brothers and sisters in our neighborhoods. So we got to start by being clean and doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? And that's when that great divine will kick right on in. You be surprised when we just start right where we are, how things will follow. But we got to make that step. We can't, of course, now we can, write a letter to the city and, and suggest things in that area too. We don't just deny it or don't pay attention. Yes, but it also begins with us too, so it goes for both sides, real talk. But we can't solely rely on the city, but they got to do their part too, real talk. But it just bothers me when I go through neighborhoods and see trash and garbage. And sometimes there'll be a garbage can right there and there'll be trash all around it on the ground. That just doesn't make sense to me. Or we be driving. You see somebody throw trash out the window. I mean, it just don't make no sense. And, we got good things about our major cities, or continents, and then we have the bad things. Now, one flaw, there's many flaws, but I'm just going to pick one here in the Milltown. Something I noticed about not a lot of people, but some, there's a lot of ungrateful people, inconsiderate, greedy, selfish. It's a lot of that. That's in America, period. Now, that's kind of the bad side. But we do got some good brothers and sisters in these cities too, so I acknowledge that too, and it's becoming more apparent, it's more and more warriors being developed every day, just like it's, maybe some bad things going on every day. Guess what? For every bad thing that's happening, there's a great thing that's happening too. The great divine, always raising up a soldier. It's always somebody rising up, always. So we just keep that in our mind, brothers and sisters. There are some warriors out there, brother, sister, family, younger or older. So that's what, keep us seen and knowing that there can be, what we do righteous in the present, as I like to say, will always and forever benefit us in the future. But it starts right where we are in our neighborhoods, whatever cities we are in, states, countries, continents. And I'm telling you, just start by not littering. Just start by giving a damn and not being one who don't give a damn, because nothing is more worse than when you got a human being that just, they're healthy, nothing wrong with them, and they don't give a damn and they're selfish and all they care about is themselves. That's the worst kind of individual, real talk. And again, like I said, it's beautiful to walk out into the neighborhood and see everybody's yards taken care of. There's no trash everywhere. It's just, and it's a good frequency. Who wants to live around trash and garbage? It don't make no sense. And this goes for jobs too. This is something else I observe on jobs, because I work a job. Now, we don't kiss no one's ass on a job, and we don't, like, as I heard a brother say, now this is not mine, it's another brother that say this, but we don't put all our life force into a job. Now, many of us have to work jobs to pay our bills, stuff like that. But I always like to say, where we make our money at, we have to take care of it. Again, it's not that we're we're brown nose and nothing like that, but if the same place we make money from, we have to take care of it. We can't give a shit about it, but we want money from it. And this is something I observed too. Like, let's say, now, everybody has different jobs, different shifts and stuff like that, but let's use a restaurant, for example, because I work in a restaurant. Cook slash chef, and salute to all the cooks out there, those who have a skill in cooking, whether you went to school for it or you just have it in your DNA, because I got a lot of cooks in my family. That's why I'm a cook. My great uncle, not my great uncle, but my oldest uncle, cooked, and a lot of cooks. My grandmother, she was always cooking, so that runs in my family, And my mom, my grandma, and my granddad, rest in peace and in power, they were farmers. So, and they knew a lot about nature and all that stuff. I did a podcast about them, and I talked about my ancestors, my granddad, and how they used to go fishing all the time. And my grandmother was always in the garden. They stayed outside. My grandma and granddaddy was always outside. My grandma stayed outside. So she knew about that natural life, about growing, seeing things grow from the ground. She knew all about that stuff. Yeah. So rest in peace and in power, my grandma and granddad. But let's go back to the restaurant. Now, again, it's not about brown nosing or nothing like that. But again, wherever we're making our money, we have to help take care of the place. That's what keeps a business going. If we had our own business, we'd have to keep it clean and take care of it. So it's the same thing. So this is something I observe at the job. Now, we always have, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, or 3 people that don't give a damn about the job, but want the money. You know what I mean? So let's use a restaurant as an example. Now, if you walk into a restaurant and the floor is dirty and it needs to be mopped, what's the first thing that's going to pop in your mind? It's like, it's the frequency. You want to walk into a clean place where the floor is clean and the tables are clean and, and it's not ghetto. You know what I mean? So that's just, what I mean. I always say, nah, I mean. But that's something I observe. And people just don't understand. I can't work in a place that's dirty and grimy and just shit everywhere. I just can't do it. So it makes you wonder where one's mental is that do like living in trash and garbage. Because again, that's where it starts. And it's more than just what we're doing in the physical form. It's what's going on inside in the mental. Because apparently, I always said if I owned a business and I had employees, I would pay people in court. I would pay people according to how they work. That would change a lot of things. People just take shit for granted. And I was speaking to an employee I work with, and we were speaking on this kind of thing. And I remember I got laid off. Like I said, people just take things for granted. They get comfortable, never get comfortable. That's danger, especially when it comes to these jobs. But never get too comfortable. I've been in my job probably 12 years, and I still don't get comfortable. I'm still stay focused, and I still stay on point. You gotta, just a certain code. Again, not brown nosing, not kissing ass. It's just a code that we go by, and that's how we thrive through this life. Not survive, thrive, And again, that's just something I observe on some of these jobs. And again, an employee I work with, we was discussing this. And I remember that's one of the reasons why I moved to Milltown, because my hometown, Decatur, Illinois. I remember going to work and there was a paper on the door, and they went out of business, and they just out of nowhere they got laid off. So I'm telling you, things like that can happen. So these are types of things I keep in my mind. So I thought I'd share this with my brother and sister, in general, those who listen. That's why we gotta stay on point. Have a plan, a backup plan, so to speak. You always got to think about the future. Can't just live willy-nilly, free falling through life, have no kind of purpose. You got to have some kind of purpose. Got to have a goal. Got to have a plan, because again, we as humans, we never know what's coming down the road. But what I always say, that great divine always knows, brothers and sisters. So pay attention to synchronicities, signs, deja vu. Those are all glimpses into the future. Step into the new. I'm telling you, every melanated brothers and sisters have a divine spiritual side to themselves, but it's just, so again, it's not all us. There's some distractions on the outside from person, place, thing, but still at the end of the day, some of it begins with us as melanated brothers and sisters, families in these communities and neighborhoods. And again, please stop littering. Start by keeping our neighborhoods clean. It's wonderful. You feel better. Again, it's a frequency. And I thought that was wonderful. My son, Lord Lamont, brought that up, that it begins at home, keeping our home clean. They say, what's the old saying? Cleanliness is next to godliness. And that's another thing. People, say they know God and they got God and speak God, but doing everything toxic under the sun. It's crazy. It's like you just creating a bubble around you. You never get past that bubble, So again, that could be an opinion and or theory, and it starts at home. And that home could be physical, our physical home, or that home I call the psyche, because that's the real home. What goes on in our psyche, that's what will develop on the outside. All right. Now, I'm going to get into these songs, and I'm going to come back, and I want to read the 10 most cleanest countries, continents, or cities, or states, or whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to come back. And it's a couple that's not even on the list, which breaks my heart. Well, one of them I know why probably not on the list. But the other, it's a continent that I thought should be on there, but it wasn't. Broke my heart. But it might have some rough areas. But we're going to get into it when I come back. And one song is all about the mental. And the other song is, I don't remember what the other song was, but we're going to get to it, brothers and sisters. And again, thank those for riding along. And salute to all the great righteous, emphasis on righteous content creators out there. Those I've learned from, Always remember those that helped us, that catapulted us to the position we are in. Because again, we all have had some kind of help along the way, whether in the world or online. You know what I mean? Brother, sister, family. All right. Let me see. The first song is going to be My Generals. That's the other song. And the next song will be about the mental. But this is a call for action. That's what this song is about. My generals, calling all generals, to keep our neighborhoods clean, man. That's where it starts. I'm telling you. Again, we can write letters to the city and stuff like that. Stay on it. Yeah, because they got to do their part too. Real talk. But it begins with melanated brothers and sisters. Just think if everybody stopped dropping trash and picked up trash and kept our streets clean. I'm telling you. And I got some amazing things to speak on. One country, I seen videos of that was just immaculate how clean they keep their country. And I'm gonna speak on it again. I'm gonna read off the top 10 most cleanest countries. Public opinion. I'll put it like that. So all right, I'm gonna be back with it's a call for action. I'm calling my generals. That's what this next song is about. All right, be right back. Salute.
Yeah, to my generals. Salute. Yeah. Where at? This land, we about to take it back. Yeah. Where my generals at? Yeah. Where at? About to take this freaking land back. Yeah. Where at? Salute. My generals. Yeah. Where at? EBX. This land, we about to take it back. To my generals. Where at? There's too much shit going on. That's why I'm here, I'ma keep us strong. We gotta maintain, gotta keep our brain. Righteous things while we own this lane. And man, we gotta see and keep our minds free. And watch the children in the family. This life gotta be man, a righteous priest. Peace. Yeah, my generals. Where at? About to take this here land. Yeah, we're about to take it back to my generals. Where at? Salute. Where at? To my generals. This land, we about to take it back to my generals. Where at? Yeah, this land, about to take it back. I keep on moving, yeah, and grooving, man, never losing. I want you to make it too. And yeah, in this life, man, we never be through. I always try to be a man so happy. Even them sometimes I can be crappy, but that's okay. And yeah, I'm a lay, and I will always feel this way. I got that energy, I give it to you. And make a show, yeah, we see the truth. And yeah, a man, try my best to have your back. And yeah, all my generals, man, where you at? Yeah, this land, and we're about to take it back. Yeah, to my generals, salute. Where at? This land, we about to take it back. Yeah, my generals. Where at? Salute. Yeah, we gonna take it back. This land. Where at? This land. Man, we about to take it back. To my generals. Where at? Yeah, where at? To my generals. Where at? Yeah, this land. We about to take it back. Salute. My generals. Salute. To my generals. Where at? Yeah. Go crazy. Salute.
Real talk. Where at? To my generals. Where at? We about to take this land. Yeah. Are we about to take it back? Oh, my bad, y'all. I got carried away. Yep. Where you at, my generals? Real talk. And the next one is gonna be about the mental health, because this is where it comes in. This right here, we need to get to that core. Why? I mean, I wonder what, like when somebody driving and they throwing litter out there. I mean, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? And energy is everything. And trash in our neighborhood, that is negative energy all day, every day. Again, that's where it begins, And so let's get about mental health. That's the name of the song, about mental health. That's the next one. And I want to get to this because it's interesting. I really want to go through this top 10 cleanest countries when one comes back. But it's about the mental health at the end of the day, all day, every day. Because if we got our mental health right, man, you tell me what can F with us. So I'll be back after this. Salute.
Yeah, to my generals, salute. Gotta wanna help yourself. Hey. It's all about the mental health. Yeah, brothers and sisters, you gotta wanna help yourself. Hey. EBX, salute. I'm here here to give insight and never go out this life without a fight. Don't give a damn, a man, what it look like. I keep on going, a must, I do right. So equipped the benefits of this life. No longer a misfit, it feels nice. A good vibe on this song. One's calling down protection from the great divine zone. Gotta wanna help yourself. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, it's all about the mental health. Hey, 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 hey. Gotta wanna help yourself. Help yourself. Brothers and sisters, it's all about the mental health. Hey, 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 hey. I'm on the right lane, I must remain. And those that's righteous, thinking God, we not insane. A royal in a heart, don't need no fame. No time to waste, especially our brains. Stop fighting one another, nothing will change. Saving your life, that is one aim. A mind, body, soul, it ain't no fucking game. We got no time for guilt, or no shame. And never be no fucking lame. Sun gon' shine, not always gon' rain. I stay away from stress and always remain. I watch for the elephant, mistakes is irrelevant. We gotta stay smart in this life and intelligent. Gotta wanna help yourself. Hey, 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 hey. It's all about the mental health. Brothers and sisters, gotta wanna help yourself. Hey, 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 hey. It's all about the mental health. Brothers and sisters, gotta wanna help yourself. Hey, 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 hey. Always do a self-awareness check on ourselves and keep tabs on our family. That's what it's all about, brothers and sisters. That righteous, divine, mental health. Gotta wanna help yourself. Brothers and sisters.
Real talk. Gotta want to help yourself, because that's where it starts, brothers and sisters. All right. Now let's get back into, I want to, like I said, I thought it was interesting. Let me see. Hold on, brothers and sisters. You know I got to get back to the Mo to the Joe, as my son and I always say. Okay, let's go. And I really want to get into these the 10 most cleanest countries. Let me see. Taking a little moment to get it. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. All right, let's go. Ain't that crazy, huh? What the heck? Okay, hold on, brothers and sisters. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get back into it. Now, the 10 most cleanest countries, which I thought was very interesting. Okay, let me see. Nope, that wasn't it, brothers and sisters. Let's go. All right. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, brothers and sisters. The 10 most cleanest countries by public opinion. Let's get into it. Communities, please stop littering. Man, I don't know how, no other way to put it. Stop littering. That's where it starts. You know, again, it's a vibration. It's a frequency. Let's go. All right, Switzerland. I'm getting ready to go through the countries. Switzerland, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Australia. Some of these I might have trouble pronouncing, so forgive me. Luxembourg, Iceland, Germany, France, United Kingdom, New Zealand, Japan. And I want to speak on Japan. I've seen some videos of Japan. Immaculate. I mean, it's unreal how clean they are. All right. Malta. I don't know what that is. Continent of Europe. Malta. I don't know what that is. Netherlands, Canada, Costa Rica, Estonia. Let me see. Ireland, Mauritius. Ooh, continent of Africa. Ooh, cool. Mauritius. Forgive me for mispronouncing that. Cool. Africa is on there. That's dope. Mauritius. I'll have to research that. I've never heard that, brothers and sisters. Okay. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right. I'm gonna have to research that. All right, we got Africa on the map. All right. It says Mauritius. This Mauritius. Mauritius. That sounds beautiful, actually. Continent, Africa. Beautiful. Australia. Croatia. Continent of Europe. Let me see. Denmark. It says 67.9. And then last but not least, Spain. Continent, Europe, Africa. So Africa did make the list, because I thought that wasn't on. I didn't think Africa. I was wondering if Africa was going to be on there, and Africa is a part of it. So that's cool, because I know it's some, like I said, every area, every country, every city, every continent, different parts of it has its bad areas, So, but again, it begins with us, and in the quotation marks, so-called leaders that run these areas. That's who it's up to. But it also starts with those in our neighborhoods or communities or villages, wherever we are. It starts with us, So I thought that was interesting. And that's cool that Africa's on the map. But guess who's not on there? The United States. What a surprise. That's not on there. Not nowhere on there. It's not funny. It's really not funny. It really isn't. Because, again, it's the inner. If that inner ain't, not right, then the outer not going to be right. That's how I look at these neighborhoods, and, what's, some wealthy or rich people don't see, and because you don't know unless you're in it and you see it, so that's the only way to know. Experience is beautiful, but that's salute to Africa, for parts of Africa. But we all know Africa is the most beautiful place on the planet, in my opinion. Again, there's other beautiful places, but Africa is it. But because that's the motherland, baby. That's mama all day. But like I said, I'm not even surprised United States ain't on there. Duh. But parts of it can be beautiful. Again, it goes back to the people, how we are in our neighborhoods, communities. Please stop littering. Just something small as that, because again, it's a vibration, it's a frequency. And I want to speak on Japan. I saw it was a sister that was walking through Japan, and she was showing video, and it's probably right here on YouTube. Probably can just type it in. And she was walking through Japan, and she was like, "Look how clean they are. The garbage trucks are clean. They clean them every day." You know what I mean? That's you talking about efficiency. You know what I'm saying? And perfection. Wow. So in the restaurants, all the silverware is wrapped. Everything's nicely clean and precise. When I said they even keep their garbage trucks clean, and they clean them on the daily. That's dope. And they probably are really strict on that. You probably get a big ass fine if you litter. All their streets are clean. No garbage nowhere. So that's amazing. So it's not impossible. It can be done. But it goes back to like that song, the mental health. How we feel about our communities. We can't, that's not no excuse to be, because again, we got to, like I said about the job, we have to take care of where we make our money. Again, not brown nosing or kissing ass, but we got to take care of the place where we make our money. That's the code. You know what I mean? So the same things with our neighborhoods and our home. If we are somewhat clean, we don't want to live in no junky house. So why would we want our neighborhoods to be junky? It don't make no sense to me. Why would you want to walk outside to a trashy ass neighborhood? It don't make no sense. Now, if we're walking through a neighborhood and every yard is trashy, not cutting glass and bottles, and these are healthy human beings, and every house is junky in that neighborhood, something's wrong there. You know what I mean? Just in one's opinion, but this comes from love, because again, I was in a space where I wasn't aware, wasn't paying attention to things. Again, this spell, in my opinion, that a lot of us melanated brothers and sisters have been under for centuries. And in order to break a spell, we have to know we're under one, and a spell is just conditioning, habits, behaviors that we have grown up with, we have adapted, you know what I mean? It's just things we just not aware of oneself sometimes. But some brothers and sisters are aware, because again, there's a lot of selfishness, a lot of greed, a lot of not giving a damn, no concern, But again, there's a lot of bright lights out there. I see them all the time, but I always keep in my mind that I wasn't aware at one time. And some people are late bloomers. Maybe they haven't got there, Some people get to a state of awareness, and unfortunately, some don't, And that's the part that's heartbreaking, But Be thankful for the generals out here in the world, online, brothers and sisters, family that just living their life, and and adding positive things to our culture and or humanity. And I have to say, folks, it start by picking up the trash and cleaning up our neighborhoods. That's where it start. Now other things too, but the trash thing, that bothers me. I don't know, that just bothers me. I can't live in trash, and I don't see how people live like that. I couldn't do it. So I don't know what goes on in people's minds when they just throw bottles and just throw trash in the street and don't give a damn. That just bothers me. It lets you know what's really going on in the psyche. So, but thank those for coming in. That's just something I wanted to share, and something that's kind of been on my spirit for a while. Just hadn't got around to speaking on it. And of course, you see on my banner, I'm always thinking above and beyond. So that's what I share to a current subscriber, a new subscriber, and salute to the new subscriber that just subscribed, and anyone that subscribed and view. I salute you and thank you. And as well as my family, my children, my biological children, and my God children, my biological brothers and sisters, and my God brothers and sisters in the world, online. Be thankful for those who do keep our neighborhoods and communities clean and care about them. Let's acknowledge them, salute them. Even the silent warriors out there. We got silent warriors too, that's doing their thing, that some may not know about, so we acknowledge them and salute them, because I always say that secret connection to that divine and mama nature is the victories no one sees, because in time they will be seen, but it'll come natural. I've been on this natural thing. It's beautiful when one feels natural within, like mama nature, and just keep forging forward and keep that divine spirit. And whatever we are, don't look at nothing else. Clean up where we are. We don't look at other people. Let them do what they do. I'm talking about those who don't care and selfish and all that shit. Excuse me for cussing, but we do right where we are. We keep our neighborhood right where we are. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's a vibration and it's a frequency. And it's like a righteous ripple effect. Start with ourselves, children, family, significant other, work our way out, and that's how we do in these neighborhoods, in our mind, our body. And so again, thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion, if I didn't say that already. And again, I always appreciate those who view, get anything out of what I say. My son, Lord Lamont, any positive energy, knowledge, anything, pass it on to someone else. And, the best way we can, brothers and sisters, we see some trash or some, and I've done it. I've stopped and picked up trash. I've seen, wherever we are in our neighborhood, wherever part of the world we are in, please, brothers and sisters, man, stop littering. Salute.